First of all, tell you the genealogy is the study of your ancestors. It has to do with everything, not just where you belong on the family tree. It's about collecting their memories, their mementos, their journals, to learn about their passions, their struggles. It has to do about everything about that Ohana, because you see, everything you learn about your Ohana from the past, you will see reflected in yourself, in your children. I mean, that's why you got the thick eyebrows and the big nose, and some got the stubby toes, and some got the long toes. Yeah, you know, everything about genealogy has to do with family and why we are, as individuals, important to this family. Everyone leaves a mark, no matter how little. That person was special in our lives. And this year, because we're honoring the kupunas, we took the moment to reflect on the ones that are still here. They have so much knowledge. And if we don't try to grasp a little bit of their knowledge, it's lost. And so we tried this year by the kapunas that are here to teach the classes to do a little bit of a biography. If you've been walking around observing the scenery, we were fortunate, Didi and I, to go to Big Island, and we got to interview the Kalimas, the aunties and uncles, and we had a blast. I'm telling you, they spoiled us so much. I want to go back. I'm so glad we related. Hello? But we had so much fun, and they have so much talent to offer us. We are going to hear from them right after my class. And this is something that we need to record. We need to put on documented, because we will learn something, and we can learn it and pass it on to the next generation. And that's why we're here, is to learn who we are, where we come from, and why we are the way we are. Because each of us have attributes that contributed to someone that lived before us. So when I started asking, Chima, who's that? And she said, oh, that's auntie. No. How is that auntie related to you? I don't know. She didn't know, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, if she doesn't know, and she can't tell me, I better start writing this stuff down. So at 17, I actually got really interested, and I started writing. So the books you see over there, I've been doing since I was 17. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but anyway, it's been a while. But I realized that by doing genealogy, all of us from the islands, because the islands are small, we come together. And so when they started asking, why did we add the other lines? Anytime a woman in a family marries, that name changes. And so we took the 6 lines. If you can hook up to the 6 main lines, you related. Hello? Because I tell you what, the island is so small, they yell, they jump island. And I'm going to tell you a story about your great-great-grandfather, James Kalimakahopi. Okay, we went to the Ho'olaulea about 6 years ago, yeah? About 6 years ago, and I'm standing in the shave ice line. And in front of me has this tall man with a t-shirt, and there's a map of Maui on it. And on the map has all the family names to his family. And I'm going, wait a minute, I don't know who this person is. And I'm in the back, how come my name is on your shirt? And he turns around, he goes, because we probably related. And I got that shirt, by the way. Anyway, he gave it to me. But anyways, I can tell you what's something. This whole layer here in California, I have met more Ohana. It's unbelievable. I found somebody from my mama's line a few years ago. The auntie is now passed. Her Ohana is coming tomorrow. Every year I go, I find somebody new. That's how small this. I mean, we live in California now, okay? We left the islands, but we're still finding Ohana. Whew, scary. But anyway, with this genealogy, we went to a barbecue right after this ho'olaulea, and we were sitting and talking. This uncle was listening to me talk, and he stood up. He said, "I'll be right back." He went home, came back with the book that was put together by Uncle Norman's wife, Patricia. So I'm looking at it. I said, "Do you think I can borrow this and make a copy and bring it back?" And we had another barbecue following weekend. I said, "Okay, thank you." So he gave me not just the kalima. He gave me kalima, kauhane, and kalama. So I took all of it and I ran it off. When I started reading this genealogy about James Kalima Kaho'opi, he had 4 wives. And of the 4 wives, he has, as far as we counted, 29 children. Okay, so anyway, on his second wife, he married a Margaret Ka'awau, and that's where we come from, the Nakitas. I must say this, on Sunday, Kaleo asked me, after we took our family reunion committee picture, he goes, oh, can you tell me again how we related? And I looked at him. That's right, we didn't have class last time. But we actually come from the second wife. And they only had 1 child. And I don't think they got married, really, because I can't find the document that says they were legally married. He jumped the fence, that one. Anyway, they only had 1. And her name was Elizabeth. They had plenty Elizabeth back then. Very hard to. But it was a popular name, and she carried both names, Kalima and Kaho'opi, because later on they started taking one or the other. And then they cutting parts of it off. Instead of Kaho'opi, there was Ho'opi. So with this marriage of Elizabeth to Jonah Kiawakulo Nakila, he has 6 children. And out of these 6 children is my grandfather, my father's father, Samuel. I started doing research, and the Kauhani line, when we started walking the wall, there were 2 brothers. Ha'o is the father, had 2 sons, Ha'o and Kua'ana, right? Kua'ana. And from Kua'ana's line is where Auntie Kukui's mama comes from, okay? But the other brother, whose name is Ha'o, got a question mark, got a date, 1815, and a question mark. Some go, huh? Does that mean that you don't have information? No, they don't. Well, I was doing one of the other lines, and in the Moana genealogy, the Hanohanos run into the Moana line, which is their royalty from Maui. She is Ali'i. Well, she had 4 husbands, lucky woman. She had 4 husbands, and husband number 4, his name was Ha'o. Now, I don't have verification yet, but it's about the same time that she was here. So we have to research to find some kind of document, if we can, to verify if the Ha'o that she married is the Kauhane Ha'o. Now, to explain about this name, Kauhane, their great-great-grandfather was Solomon. Kauhane Ha'o. In 1880, he decided, I'm going to change my name. So he changed it. He would put the Ha'o in the middle and the Kauhane on the end. So that's the reason why, if you hear Ha'o, yeah, you related. You're definitely related, because he would switch the name. The Hawaiians were famous for that. They take the middle, the side, hello. But Moikeha, because he has what happens is he is an athletic person. And every day he goes to play sports with the community, with the people. And you can hear on the island the cheering because he's so competitive. And this woman that he falls in love with hears this cheering, and it makes her happy. But there's another man who's in love with her, and he doesn't know how you going to take one woman away from the king. You're going to get killed. So he decides, I'm going to plant something in her mind. So what he does, one day when they hear all the cheering, he comes in, she says, oh, the Moikea must have won again because I hear all the people cheering. And he says, you think they're laughing and cheering because he won? No, it's because they're laughing at you. And so she plants this little seed in her mind, and she gets angry. So by the time Moikea comes home, she's nuha. But of course, she never tells him why. So what she does, because I guess she's having aloha with him, she makes the Hawaiian style chastity belt with fish line. Hook, I don't know how they did it, but it describes it in the story. She does this latching around her leg, so he cannot approach her. And then of course he figured, oh, there must be something wrong. Maybe, just let her go for a couple of days. It'll be okay. Well, it goes a couple of days, go a couple of weeks, go a couple of months. Then he said, okay, wait, what's wrong? She won't tell him. And the more he persists, she gets upset and tells him, I think I better leave. So he's so brokenhearted because he doesn't know what he did to make her angry. He packs up his family, his sisters, his brothers, his entourage. Because now remember, he's a mo'i, he's a king in Tahiti. He leaves. But before he leaves, before this other woman came in his life, he had a son with Kaupo, who is a Tahitian woman. And the son that he has is La'a. Okay. When all of this happens and he decides to leave, he doesn't bring La'a. He leaves La'a. And he comes, and as he comes to the island, each of his Ohana or entourage decides that they want to say, oh, that island is so beautiful, big island. Can you drop us off here? So his Ohana, he's spreading his Ohana across the Hawaiian Islands. He ends up in Kauai. And when he gets to Kauai, he meets these two women. They're playing sports on the beach, these two sisters. And when they see him, he thinks, oh, I want to go play with them, with this village, with these people. The two girls are gaga. And they say, oh my goodness, he's fine. So anyway, they take him home and they marry him. They want to marry him. And he takes them. He ends up living in Kauai. Wait, I'm jumping ahead. First story Auntie Kukui told us 2 years ago was about her Ohana who was coming, which is Moikea. They were tired from paddling. They're paddling and they're paddling from Tahiti. They become weary. Well, I don't know how many of you understand what Amakua is. It's like a guardian. For each family line, there is a guardian. Our guardian for my family is the shark and the owl. Well, actually, we got three. Lizard too. But anyway, each family has an Amakua. And so the Amakua for Moikea are the dolphins. And what the dolphins did was they came under the canoe, lifted the canoe up, and they brought them into the Hawaiian Islands. Now, that was the first story she told us. The second time we talked about Ohana legend, she told me about La'a. And then when we went to Big Island in April, I actually got to read the story. It's awesome. This La'a, as he is approaching the Hawaiian Islands, he starts to play the drum. He's beating the drum. And the people in the islands have never heard this before. Never. And so everyone is they're all excited. Well, he is the one who introduces the pahu drum to the Hawaiian people. And he is also known for teaching hula to the Hawaiian people and tattooing. So our genealogy actually goes beyond these Hawaiian islands. We have connection to Tahiti. And the Kalimas, well, I think all of us are connected. We all connect, so we will find out how we connect tumoy cap.
And this here is what my daughter Momi picked up from one of her neighbors, I guess. I couldn't bring any guavas up. And this was a white guava, but it serves the same purpose. And what I do is put it in the blender. Give me a little water. Fill this up. I add a little water to the guava because you can't blend it with just the pulp of the fruit itself. Lupe is bringing me some water. You just blend this guava, and then I'll show you later. I just use about a quarter cup of water. Then I blend it.
Okay, everybody in the background. Kuli kuli. Hey.
Okay, you blend it until it's finely ground. And this is the strainer that I use to strain the guava. Pour it into this. And just stir it around until you get all the pulp up because you have to separate the pulp from the seeds. When I first made guava, my mother taught me to make guavas with. You wash your guavas, cut it up, put